morning, Matt Money team. How's everyone doing? Okay, guys, if you could do me a favor and meet me in the strategy talk room, that's where we're going to hang out. I'll see you over there. How's everyone's morning coming? What's up, J-Spec? Ball, what's up, man? 88 Scorpion, what's up? I know I haven't done a show for a while. Been working on so many projects. I want to share something with you guys. Look at this BYND idea. Got within, what, 30 cents, whatever it is. Tank. Here's PRVB, posted at the open. Why am I talking about these two? I also want to note I did have a short on Tesla that did not work. Tesla's crazy. What's up, Lucas? Thanks for stopping in. Another one, BYND, this morning was awesome as well. Lucas says the best show is Micah Yo's. Thanks, man. Okay, so today I want to talk about volume, guys. I saw a lot of people watched my my lunchtime recap when I go over volume, but what I really want to focus on today is just talking about volume for the entirety of the Micah Yo Show. And I want to start off by saying a lot of people say price is king, right? So if price is king, then volume must be queen. Volume might even be king, and I'll tell you why. Because volume is what moves markets, okay? Price doesn't move itself. Volume moves markets. So a lot of people are price action traders. They're support and resistance. You know, they're very heavily relied upon their support and resistance, and that's definitely an important aspect of trading, right? But what's the driving force behind the support and resistance? Now, I'm going to drop a few tips. The few tips that I want to drop are support and resistance when coupled with volume is far superior to support and resistance that has no volume. Okay? This may sound like a no-brainer. You're like, well, yeah, you know, there's no volume. Well, a lot of people still, unfortunately, can't grasp that. And it took me a long time to understand the importance of volume in trading as well. You know, when I first started trading, I started to just be totally obsessed with indicators. Now I'm taking you back like 8 years now, okay? Almost 8 years. Holy shit, I'm getting old. But I started to just get absolutely obsessed with indicators. And I think that's where most people start out. They start out with the indicators, you know, and you do a quick search on YouTube for day trading, whatever, strategies and all this junk comes up. You know, the RSI, the MACDs, the stochastics, the CCI, moving averages, all this nonsense will come up. Now, am I saying those indicators are nonsense? No, I'm not. But I'm saying that those indicators as a standalone method are a poor form of speculation in the market, in my opinion. If you're trading just off RSI, you're going to get into a lot of trouble. Why is that? Well, RSI can run hot for a long time. Doesn't mean the stock is going to tank, okay? And then guess what? There's all different time frames for your speculation. The RSI could be running hot on the 1 minute. The RSI could be cool as a cucumber on the 4 hour or whatever have you, you know? So the MACD could be doing a crossover, you know, the golden cross, the moving averages, your SMAs could be giving you know, it's just like time frames are important, and there's all different kinds of time frames for our speculation, right? So indicators as a standalone method are usually why traders run into a lot of trouble. There's just not enough data there to sustain consistently profitable trading business, in my opinion. Now, of course, as I always say, I'm not a professional and I don't pretend to be, okay? I'm not a millionaire and I don't pretend to be. So all of my opinions are just my own, right? It's not professional advice that I'm giving, but throughout the 7.5, 8 years on my trading journey, there's a lot of things that I've learned, okay? And the most important lessons are what not to do. And we all like to take a sit back and say, well, I did this right and I did that right, and let's just focus on this. But it's really what to avoid that gives us the big edge, right? So every single person in this room is capable of making money in the market. A lot of people have made money. You know, it's funny, like every single person in this room is capable of churning a profit, but keeping the profit is where the success rate drops greatly, right? So I'm sure everyone here that's traded today has made a winning trade, or most likely made a winning trade, or on the week you've made winning trades, on the month you've made a lot of winning trades. But it's about taking out that back end that is hurting our bottom line. That's what's really important, okay? So today, what I want to talk about is volume, because volume is, this is a bold statement, but I think volume is the most important factor in a trade plan. If it's not the most important, then it's neck and neck with price action. But I don't think that volume is the last thing in the totem pole. And unfortunately, a lot of traders are loading up a chart. They're looking at all these things. They're looking at the daily, the intraday. They're looking at the, you know, whatever, the filings. They're looking at the indicators. They're looking at pieces of information on Twitter. And then they're like, okay, what's the volume like? And I think it should be price and volume first, or volume price first. And the more experience you get, I think the more that that's going to resonate with you, okay? So I'm definitely not the most experienced guy. I learn new things all the time, but my win rate and my trading in general as a whole has changed dramatically since the volume filtering that I've implemented in my game plan. So I have a rule of 3 when it comes to volume. And this is a very simple analysis that I want everyone to start practicing, unless you're an experienced trader and you have a great grasp of what ample volume should be. But the first rule, this is just a quick tip, okay? This is just something that you can practice and that'll keep you safe. For the most part, when it comes to volume in small cap land, okay? So for the most part. So we do have a metric for volume that we use on small caps, sub $10. It is 200,000 volume per 3-minute candle. Okay? So for small cap stocks, we'd like to see volume in the 200,000, roughly 66,000 per minute range for small caps. Okay? And there's a reason for this. There has got to be ample liquidity, right, for business to take place. It's not just price action. So if you guys were to look at all your trades from whatever in your journey, you just start with the last month. You'll notice a very defined decrease in volume, okay, across the markets. Now, there's that saying, sell in May and go away. Well, it's real. You know, it's not a conspiracy theory. It's real. And usually May, June, July, August, September are pretty weak months for small caps. And then October, November, December, January, February, March are better for small caps, okay? And we're dealing with a low volume range right now. We're dealing with a low volume market, and everyone's feeling it, okay? Sometimes we wake up, there's nothing on scanner. Okay, we're looking at secondary plays as our primary plays, right? You guys know what I'm talking about. You know, in January, you're going to wake up and you're going to see 6 or 7 things on the gap scanner, right? I mean, not everyone will qualify, of course, but there's things going on, there's things moving. And now we're not seeing that. You know, all of my primary plays are actually secondary plays from days past. So, for example, BYND. If you guys have been watching my lunchtime recaps, you know that BYND is something that I keep on watch list every single day. And that's because of the range and the liquidity that it provides. So what is the rule of 3? Well, there's a quick analysis that you can implement in your charts right now to give you a good gauge of market volume, or that particular stock's volume, okay? The first one is I would say, one of the least important, but it's still, if you are looking at a chart, you'll know right away something's wrong, okay? And that's the size of the candles. And if you watch my Micah Yo Show, where I talk about volume and the rule of 3, then you'll get an example of that. So go check out that show if you haven't seen it. But basically, when you look at the market open, now statistically speaking, a large majority of the volume happens in the first 30 minutes. The first 30 to 40 minutes, okay? So as a general rule, large volume happens in the first 30 to 45 minutes, okay? It's not gospel, it's not 100% of the time, but most of the time. And what you usually see during this time is the size of the candles are large and pronounced. And that is a good indication of volume. Now, what you really want to stay away from is when you start seeing not only price going sideways, but the size of the candles start to shrink dramatically, okay? And they will sometimes even be prints. They won't even be a green or a red candle. They will literally just be a white print, on whatever platform you guys are using for your charting. I'm using Thinkorswim, and I give an example of this in the lunchtime recap. Okay, so that is definitely a big red flag. I want to go back to some comments here. All Day A says it's the homies with soft-spoken voices you gotta be scared of. My dude soothes my afternoons. Thanks, man. I'm gonna take that as a compliment. A lot of people say that, actually. That's pretty funny. I think I put everyone to sleep. Punch Drunk, what's up? Staying in main chat but listening. Thanks for listening, man. Cruz said, King can only move one space at a time. He's only a piece of the puzzle. Queen is like the Captain Marvel because she's badass. Need both. Yeah, I definitely need both. Oprah said, I'm a billionaire, not a millionaire. No, I'm not either. And I don't pretend to be. So thank you guys for your messages. But I want to make a quick note. BYND is moving up here. It is cleared that 141.59 resistance. And the next area of resistance, I'm going to, let's see. Yeah, this thing can really move. I don't see any resistance until over $150. So what do we need now? Chart's telling us that this thing can really move. Well, what do we need for this to really get there? What don't we have right now? Who can tell me? Volume. Yep. Thanks, Wallball. We don't have the volume that we need right now. Okay, will the volume come in? We have to wait and watch for that. But this is why volume is so important. Right now, I could say a massive short squeeze is coming and try and go long, and it could just tank. And that's because there's just not demand to fuel this move, okay? There's just not demand to fuel this move. Oprah says, isn't volume lagging also, or do we need to see a high volume first and then get into a dip buy? So when you're looking at stocks that are going to squeeze, volume is very telling. But oftentimes, and I'm just talking about from my own approach and my own experience, you don't always get that dip buy opportunity when thing is clearing resistance on high volume. That thing is ready to go. And there's two reasons for this. The first reason is because when you're looking to clear a resistance, what is it? It's a resistance. Well, you're like, okay, Micah, thanks, genius. Tell me something I don't know. But if you just take it back and dumb it down, resistance is where short sellers are likely to be short, right? So when you have an area that has been heavily shorted by the bears and that area reclaims, well, there's going to be panic there because there's short covering there. Okay, and that's one reason that stocks can squeeze very quickly without it coming back down into a dip buying situation. And then the second reason why stocks can squeeze big is, the bulls. Can't forget about the bulls. When the bulls see a major area of resistance reclaimed, that's a signal for them to buy, right? So BYND is kind of attempting to break out right now, and volume is a little bit higher, but we don't see that massive volume yet, okay? Now, I have some coded indicators to show me what volume parameters are best for what I'm looking to do in my own trading. And you could use any number of them, but starting off with the 200,000 volume per 3-minute candle is a very good starting point, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm just watching it here. I see it's gearing up, but right now, for example, volume is only 34,000 on the minute. That's not enough for what we need. So we really have to see a big increase, in my opinion. And then when it does clear this 143.40-ish area with volume, then things can get interesting. So, guys, I want to talk about, actually, let me answer some questions. Do you guys have any questions for me? I haven't done a show in a while. How many of you guys are still here hanging out, trading, listening? Are you guys enjoying the lunchtime recaps? So the lunchtime recaps are something that I've started to do to just kind of give the people who step out or may not be present for that time, or just something that they may have missed, or something. Maybe you just want to hear my commentary on it. Maybe that helps you. And if it does, that's awesome. And that's why I started creating them. I try and keep them 5 minutes or less. And yeah, hopefully they help you guys out. Mushu, what's up, man? Mushu's been doing great, guys. Round of applause for Mushu. Spence, what's up? Nice to see you. Wallball says, loving the lunchtime recaps. 88 Scorpion, love the recaps. Captain Ramen says, some weird shit. He just wants to hear my voice. Opro says, is volume filter Thinkorswim built-in study or your own script? So they're all my own scripts. Spence says Mushu has been a big help to him. Yeah, Mushu's a great member here. You know what? No, I don't mind sharing it. I just shared it. The coded indicator, I have a couple. I'll talk about it. Mojo says, however, there are many stocks that seem to move huge on thin air. Wondering if volume is hidden in the dark pools where you can't see it. That's a good point, Mojo. And I'm always curious about some of those things as well. Like, I guess my memory fails me, but we all have those stocks that we remember in our head that we can picture that, they went from like 3 to 30, like no volume, with like, 30 halts, like, you guys know what I'm talking about. What are some of the stocks that have done that? There's been a few, I can't remember the name. But yeah, you're right, Mojo. And I think in stocks in that situation, it's important to note the float, right? If the float is like 1 million or something, I mean, that's just like, dude, just don't even try it, because, yeah, you're gonna get wrecked. Okay, so before I lose my train of thought, I want to talk about the volume rule of 3, okay, really quickly. First, volume rule is the least important, but it's also something to make note of. What is it, guys? You guys remember it? Who's been listening to me? That's one of the volume rules. That's the most important. What's the least important? But when you pull up a chart, you look right away and you say, okay, something's wrong here. See, you guys remember the most important. So the least important is the size of the candles. When I pull up a chart and I see that the candles in the morning maybe had a 30, 40, whatever cent range, and now they're like 2 or 3 cent range, that's a big problem. Okay, that's my first indication something's wrong. The second volume rule of 3 that I use is check the spread. Immediately check the spread. Okay? So I'm going to write this down for you guys. And I hope this helps you. I mean, it's not the most advanced analysis. It's simple, but you'd be surprised how well this can help you. First rule, check size of candlesticks. larger range candlesticks. I'm talking out loud. Hope you guys don't mind it. Okay, first rule, check the size of the candlesticks. Larger range candlesticks are usually associated with larger volume, and the same is usually true for smaller range, smaller volume. Okay? Second rule. Is check the spread. Larger spreads are usually associated with lower volume. Tighter spreads are usually associated with higher volume. And the third rule, and I think this is the most important, 200,000 volume per 3-minute candle is a good, you guys like me talking out loud? A little weird. 200,000 volume per 3-minute candle is a good starting point for ample volume in stocks $10 or less. Okay, that is my volume rule of 3. Okay, and since most of you primarily trade small caps here, I think that it'll be beneficial to you guys. And that number will change from small caps to large caps, the third rule. Okay, but for small caps, this is a good guideline for you guys. I believe so. It's a good guideline for me. Just look at, I mean, we could look at a few examples right now. Look at BYND. Look at the range of the candles at the open. Look at them now, right? Spreads a little wide, and you can see very clearly the majority of the volume is in the first 15 minutes. I mean, look at the highest volume was in the first 15 minutes. I mean, so these rules are very important. I mean, look at RH, same thing. Let's check out Tesla. You know, the highest amounts of volume were in the first half hour. Look at the range on the candles at the open on that big sell-off and reclaim. And now look at the range of the candles. You guys see what I'm talking about? And the spread on Tesla is not that forgiving either. Actually, full disclosure, Tesla's spread is almost never super tight. Tesla's a crazy little shit. But you guys get the general idea. It's a good rule of thumb to use. Okay? So with that being said, guys, I'm going to cut this Micah Yo Show for today. I don't want to overstay my welcome and just kind of blabber for too long. I just want to drop something helpful for you guys. I do have one favor to ask of you guys. If you enjoy the shows, if you enjoy the recaps, please leave a thumbs up on Twitter. Sorry, I mean YouTube. And you know, if you see it on Twitter and you want to share it, you can go ahead and share it. And you know, share it with your friends if you think that it'll help them. But yeah, I mean, slow and steady, man. A lot of volume filtering for this market. That's what we're doing. Captain Ramen says Roku. What's going on with Roku? Roku's dying big. Did you know that, Ramen? Got in at 104, right around that VWAP test. Good job. Good job. Okay, guys, I have a poll here. Please vote on the poll in the Strategy Talk room. The poll is asking, was this Micah Yo Show helpful to you? Was it beneficial? Did you enjoy it? Was it helpful? Please vote on the poll. Let me know how I'm doing. And you guys can also message me, and you can request me to talk about other things. You know, right now, I think that volume is extremely important, and that's because volume is always very important, but volume is very important in this market because of how low it is. So we really have to be cognizant of it. We have to filter our trades to setups that have the volume. Not only is it going to improve our win rate, but it's going to keep us safe from possibly FOMOing and, you know, other things of that nature. So thank you guys for those who voted. I'm heading out now. We're going to pop this on YouTube, see if we can help some peeps over there. And if you guys have any questions, you can go ahead and message me or email me. My email is Micah@madasmoney.com, and I will see you back in the room later. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.